That's good stuff. A little bit of coffee and Chobani creamer. Hi, my name is Houston. I hope you're doing well. Welcome back to another video. I just got to say right off the bat, feeling pretty good. No work today because it is just pouring sideways. Like an inch and a half yesterday, 2 inches today. And with my job outside, putting pipe in the ground, there's no point in fighting it when it gets to that point. All right, let's play some Call of Duty. Season 1's right around the corner. Okay, back over here on Modern Warfare 3. Season 1 is tomorrow, maybe even today if you're watching this. I don't know. I hope that I can edit this whole video today. If not, that would be kind of pathetic, but I'll try my best. Initially, as I said, I wanted to complete all the zombie stuff. Not even the camo. I mean, I want the camo eventually, but I wanted to get the skin. I think it's called Bone Collector. And I think that it's on a timer in a way. Like, I think you have to complete all 3 acts before the start of season 1. But dude, there's no way I was doing that. I don't have enough time to play this game right now. I started Blasphemous the other day, and it's just too many things pulling at me in all these different directions. I know, cry me a river. Oh, you don't have enough time to play all the video games you want. But hey, man, we all got to find enjoyment somewhere, right? I'm sure a lot of other people feel the same way, especially if you work a full-time job that's completely unrelated to gaming, or especially if you're a blue-collar worker like I am. You know, you wake up at 5 in the morning, you get home between what, like 4:30 and, I mean, let's just say 6:30 if you're working like a 10-hour day, or and then depending on your commute, and then if you try and go to the gym every day like I do as well, then, you know, time just it gets cut. Then you're like, well, I gotta try and be healthy too. And this is if I want to be like perfect every single day, every single week. But we all know that that's pretty much impossible to do. We can only set those standards and then hope that we can get to them by really just consistency and just enduring the process. I bring that up to say that I don't think that I'm going to be able to get the Bone Collector skin unless you can get it after season 1 drops, because I'm not even done with Act 1, and I was under the impression that you only had to finish Act 1 in order to get the skin, but apparently you have to finish all 3 acts, so that's just out the window. That's impossible. But the other thing that I wanted, which is totally possible, and I think that I will easily be able to get it today, is I just want this skin, this Golden River skin, because I think that that would be a really cool thing to have, and I know for a fact that this is going to leave in 23 hours and 55 seconds. And I think I only have like 2 or 3 other challenges to do until I get that one. So that's what we're going to do right now. I'm going to do these stupid Akimbo WSP kills and hopefully not rage out and punch a hole through all 3 of my monitors. Oh, by the way, I don't think that I ever showed my medal that I got from the Seattle Marathon. Look at that. That's pretty cool, isn't it? Maybe if I can get the reflection off of it. Oh, 26.2 finisher, 2023 Seattle Marathon. Got the skyline in the background. We got Mount Rainier in the background. Got Lake Union. No, we don't got Lake Union. We got trees though. Really cool. Goes up on the bookshelf back there with my other 2 medals and my Spartan Race medal. Okay, I'm pretty sure to start off, all I have to do is get kills with this, and that is fairly simple. Awesome. Great start to the game. I'm gonna be honest. I did not expect to be this far behind with Interstellar. I really thought that I was going to have a lot more camos by now and just be overall like a lot further on, and that I would have more hours on this game. It's like a vicious cycle, because the way that I kind of feel about it right now is like I want to keep playing and I definitely still want the camo, but the fact that I'm not as far as I'd like to be kind of makes me not want to play as much, and that sucks, man. Oh, I knew I was gonna get killed if I keep sprinting so much. I was literally thinking to myself right as I rounded the previous corner that I was like, dude, I gotta stop sprinting. I'm gonna die. It just sucks having the akimbo. It probably would help if I took the lasers off though, because they really give away my position. So I'm sure you're familiar with the whole like loudness EQ setting that you can do in your sound settings on this game, but I recently turned that on this game as well, and oh my god, it is so loud. I think my in-game volume is at like 5%. But the loudness EQ on this game makes a huge difference. I accidentally queued into a search game when I meant to just search hardcore, and I have no idea how it happened. It's been happening to me a lot, and I don't think it's because I'm accidentally hitting core or quick play or anything like that. But yeah, I went into the search game and it was so easy, especially if I was spectating a teammate. I feel like I could hear people, and especially on metal catwalks, coming up to them behind them from like a mile away. Like I heard them like 15 seconds before they died, before my teammate died. And I'd be like, dude, behind you, but I know. I'm not even done with the battle pass yet. I am not a gamer anymore. I had a pretty good weekend. Me and like 17, 18 of my friends all drove north to Surrey and Vancouver in BC. We stayed in Surrey at this like giant mansion with the strangest layout I've ever seen in a house. It was a lot of fun though. We did a sort of Friendsgiving type thing. I know it's like a week or week and a half late, but that's the only time that all of us could make. And it was actually pretty cheap too. It was only $90 per person, and there was totally enough space for everyone. And dude, it was a blast. And one thing I gotta say is I did not expect this, but I think every single person in my friend group knows how to cook well. So I made the stuffing. My girlfriend made the mac and cheese. Somebody made mashed potatoes. Somebody like made some pulled pork that was in the crock pot for like 10 hours. Oh my God. If you like pulled pork like I do, and then you get like those like King's Hawaiian buns. Oh, damn. And yes, we had a turkey. Somebody deep fried the turkey, which I don't think I've ever had before. But I guess his family does it every single year, so he's kind of got it locked down. Overall, it was really amazing, and I really enjoyed like getting to have a sort of like second or third Thanksgiving. It was kind of weird being so out of season for it, but yeah, it was a lot of fun. And that was my first sort of vacation trip type thing with all those people since really starting to hang out with them like a year ago. And it's, yeah, stuff like that is just so needed. I mean, if you've never done that with a group of friends, I mean, highly recommend it, obviously. It can be hard getting into situations like that, especially like if you don't know every single person there on a super personal level, but you're still kind of like acquaintances with them. But I think that it's always by like the second day, or, you know, like 12 hours into it, that everybody really starts to loosen up. It was crazy. The last night we were there, the house had like karaoke set up in the living room. They had like a microphone and a speaker and all that. And so we just took a laptop and a HDMI cable, and we like looked up karaoke songs on YouTube. And, you know, it definitely started off slow, but once a couple drinks started flowing and a couple people went, everybody got like really comfortable, and everybody started choosing just the craziest songs and going all out. It was a blast, dude. I'm trying to remember the songs that I sung during karaoke. Oh, yeah. Oh, the first one that I did that really like got me to sort of get out of my comfort zone was Something Like That by Tim McGraw. And I don't even like country music, but I was just like, okay, this can be me just goofing around. And I remember I sang it in like a country accent as well. And it was so good. Oh my God. There's nothing like just being like, okay, I don't care. I'm just going to go hard with this. I'm going to try my best. And honestly, I'm with all my friends anyway, so what could go wrong, right? And then I did I Write Sins Not Tragedies by Panic at the Disco. I did Sprinter by Central C and Dave, which is my top song on Spotify this past year. I did Beer Never Broke My Heart by Luke Combs, which was another funny one. I don't even know that song. I kept messing up because I just had to keep like looking back at the screen to see the lyrics. And then I think the last song that I did was Twisting the Night Away by Sam Cooke. I love Sam Cooke so much. And that was like a good upbeat song. I mean, he's got songs like Change Gon' Come, but I mean, I you know, that might bring the mood down a little bit, a little too slow. There's like a number of songs that are just always in a karaoke rotation, and it's always things like, you know, Dear Maria by All Time Low, which I did that as well. Like Fall Out Boy songs, like a lot of pop punk, right? Like Blink 182, or like people like Creed or Nirvana. People love that stuff. Nobody did Lose Yourself by Eminem, which I'm really disappointed by, because that's like a karaoke classic. But I think that next time I'll do it. I'll have to take one for the team. So kind of going back to the beginning of this video, I don't want to say that this game is bad, because I still do really enjoy this game, and I think that it's one of the best Call of Duties in years. But I'm just wondering, like, what happened to the motivation that I had. And I don't even know if it's necessarily that as much as it is not having enough time to play the game, because that really is like a massive part of it. I feel now more than ever what people are talking about when they like reply to content creators and they're like, wow, you already have the camo? Maybe get a life, buddy. Surely I can just sit in this corner and get anybody around the corner, right? Oh, whoa, buddy. Little K-Bam snap. Come on. There was actually a point like a week and a half ago where I didn't really have time to play at all. And I thought to myself, damn, dude, I actually feel like kind of shitty. And it wasn't just like I didn't have time to play Call of Duty. It's just like I didn't have time to game at all. And I was like, okay, like this is something that I actually love to do. And I can feel the repercussions of not being able to do it when I can't. And yeah, man, it's interesting, like kind of slowing down and taking a look at the things that you enjoy doing and the effect that they have on you when you don't have time to do them. Come on, dude, I'm fucking hacking. I'm trying to say something actually like meaningful here and not just a bunch of random shit, because I legitimately feel like not enough people have those things that bring them enough joy to the point where if they stopped doing them, they would feel those repercussions that I'm talking about. So they don't even have that first part that I'm talking about. They don't know what it's like to lose that thing. I know I kind of touched on this in the other video where I talked about like purpose and when it comes to having a job, but I should have just kept shooting. Beyond having a job and beyond going to work, it's just as important, if not more, to be honest, to have those things that allow you to escape work and that allow you to cultivate like a real productive hobby. And I don't mean productive as in, you know, like work productive, like you have to make money off of it or you have to change the world or something like that. I mean productive as in providing you a sense of like purpose and a sense of completion with the things that you're doing. So a lot of the time you'll see people doing like a craft, but in the modern age you see people, especially on TikTok, if you go on TikTok, you see people that are working with like metal. So they're doing like these antiquated crafts and such, but they're also doing these things like, I don't know, like solving puzzles. Like there's this dude that I'm subbed to on YouTube who like just does magic and like solves puzzle boxes. And I don't follow him for his magic, but I certainly follow him because I think it's really interesting to watch him solve these puzzle boxes. And I'm not saying you need to solve puzzle boxes or do something as, you know, intellectually strenuous as solving puzzles, but I am saying that there's stuff like that for everyone out there. And the hardest part is finding it. And then it continues to get more difficult too, because obviously you have to put the time into it and you have to, you know, cultivate it. I'll be 29 on Saturday, the 9th of December. And obviously 29 is not old by any means, nor is 30, nor is like, I would say even 40. But the older I get, the more that I think about purpose and meaning and these real things that all people need in order to just keep going. Too many people live too much of their life without finding the things that they truly love to do. Should I go crazy right here? Oh my God, that was so close. Like I was listening to a podcast the other day with this guy named Arthur Brooks, and I've listened to him over the years before as he's a guest on some people's podcasts, but he had just released a new book recently. And there was something that he said to the podcast host. I'm pretty sure the podcast was the Rich Roll podcast, which I really enjoy. Highly recommend checking it out for, I mean, kind of a lot of the stuff that I'm talking about right now. Okay, whatever, dude. I guess, you know, my bullets are invisible and just don't do any damage. They're fucking, I'm shooting gummy bears. So Arthur Brooks said that there are two main questions that a lot of people should figure out the answers to. And the first one is, oh, by the way, there are no wrong answers to these things. Why am I alive? And that can be any reason, right? It can be religious, it can be spiritual, it can be me almost losing that fight. It can be anything. Then the second one is, for what am I willing to die for today? The more that I've thought about it, the more I think that the reason that I'm alive is to help people to some extent. So to provide like monetary help through donations that I do, or the words that I can conjure up that will maybe help some people, which is kind of the purpose of my YouTube channel, which I've said before, or just to, I mean, talk about the same stuff that I've always talked about. I think that the more you talk about the ideas and the type of person you want to be and the type of, I guess, life you want to embody and the practices that you want to carry on day to day, the more you talk about that stuff, the more it will calcify, basically. So it is kind of like faking it till you make it. There's actually something that Rich Roll has said many, many times, and I have it on my whiteboard right over here, and it's mood follows action. You're not going to change your behavior by just thinking about it. You have to act, and you have to act accordingly so that you are going down the path of the mood change. It's impossible to think yourself out of a problem like that, or to think yourself out of a negative mental state. And a lot of this stuff is helpful, obviously, if you're in a bad place, but if you're in a good place, then you can still probably be in a better place. And that's not to say that you shouldn't be satisfied with where you're at, but it is to say that even on the days that we are better than we were before, there's another day in the future where we can be even better than we are today. I don't think that it should be a competition between who's like the most saintly or anything. You know, you should do all that you can and be the best human being that you can be, because by being the best version of yourself, the better you will be automatically to other people and to the world in general. And obviously that's a very like global way of thinking, and some people just aren't like that. And it's really, really, really hard for a lot of people to be like that. And it's really hard for me to be like that a lot of the time, because you know what? Some people are just really fucking difficult to deal with. But again, what I'm talking about is being mindful of that. I've especially been thinking about that a lot because I started reading Berserk like a week and a half ago, and oh boy, that's a tough read. I totally understand why it has not been fully adapted to people's standards yet, or just fully adapted in general, from the art to the themes and everything else that is mixed up in that series. Wow. I'm like 145 chapters in, I think. But I do have to say that the Eclipse arc at the tail end of, I think that's the Golden Age arc. So the Eclipse part at the tail end, that was some of the craziest shit I've ever read in my life. I mean, both visually and thematically. I don't really know if Miura was all right. Yeah. He was definitely going through some stuff. You really have to have a certain kind of brain to write stuff like that. And I totally understand why some people, and even I think this to some extent, that series is just unneedingly provocative in some points. And without getting into the nitty-gritty of it and revealing too much, there are some certain parts with certain characters where, I don't know, it seems a little overboard with the treatment of those characters by the author through the acts of other characters in the series. That's a whole other thing for like another video, though. I mean, obviously that's has nothing to do with this, but the reason I bring Berserk up is because there's a lot of soul searching in that through the eyes of, well, Guts, of course, and the deep traumas that he's endured. But there's also a sense of purpose that sort of strings each character together. And it seems to me like, you know, and obviously I'm like 145 chapters in, but it seems to me like they're all interwoven into this story about fate and will and what these sort of like higher powers, and you could say that those exist in the real world or not. I don't really think they do, unless you're talking about the universe itself. How all these things can affect one another and how they affect us, and it seems like deeply complicated. I'm really excited to see what other people have to say about it once I get caught up, because I just really don't want to spoil anything about it. Yeah, so this one was a bit of a rambler, and I'm hoping that I made sense and connected some dots here and there. So I really hope that it's helpful in some sense to somebody out there to take a couple extra minutes at some point and maybe think about those two questions. Why am I alive? Or like, why am I here? And then, for what am I willing to die for today? That's kind of what the real conversations with yourself are about, though. Recognizing any hesitation in your voice whenever it comes down to answering those difficult questions. I think that I should be here helping people, but I'm not really sure what I would die for. I hope that maybe you can answer those questions for yourself, and if not now, at some point. And I think that pondering those questions will help you find more things to do with your time. And if it feels like a lot of time is wasted, or maybe that purpose isn't there, or maybe that you're not quite where you want to be in whatever area of life you might think that, just remember that everything takes time. And whether you've been alive for 1 decade, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I think that at some point, every single person, no matter how long they've been alive, they're always going to have those things that they wish they could have done or that they want to keep striving for. But that's the beauty of being alive, man. Thank you for listening. I appreciate the love on the videos. Whatever you're doing, just keep it moving, and I'll see you on the next one.